beautiful faces who are going to be part of this game as well. You can see all the teams are locked in, all the players are ready as well. And looking at our initial zone here, Dan, we could be maybe a little bit of a Harvester one. We'll have to get a little bit of ring console information, but slightly to the south, but very central.
At least we're not going to be heading towards direct middle of landslide again. However, Twisted Minds probably would have enjoyed another one. They are at the top of the leaderboard, just 54 points right now for Twisted Minds, but Team Liquid only 2 points behind taking that first place at the moment. So it's very close at the top of the leaderboard, but remember, it's down at the bottom of the leaderboard where it's a little bit scary. Reject Winity still yet to put a point on the board after 3 games.
Those contests are going to hurt you if they don't go your way, and that's all you can really say about it. Well, I did say a little bit of a siphon zone, maybe a little bit of a southern zone, and I'm quite happy with that, to be honest. Based off that first zone, I'll take that.
I think you said Harvester, didn't you?
Yep.
So, I mean, it's closer-ish to Harvester.
I just wish once you would
just give it to you.
Lie with me.
The fact is, there's past broadcasts now. People can go back. Then I'm going down in flames with you. But yeah, Lava Siphon is where we're going to be heading and the surrounding areas. Great for NIP, of course, because they are going to be dropping there. But also, amazing news for any team that is down in the southeast, whether in Stacks, whether you're at Dome. You've got Team Liquid, who are down in the south. They have a very good position here to try and get to the zone quickly. They do have a ring console down in Dome to use as well.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they just hit that as well, so they're going to have a really good rotate. They could play this one nice and slow as well, actually, and just play that platform just at the northern side of their POI at the moment down on Launchpad. So a real opportunity for them to really put 2 back-to-back big games together. And just to kind of amend what I said a little bit earlier on, I didn't mean the zone was going to Harvester down. Clearly what I meant is a lot of teams will have to rotate through Harvester on their way to zone.
Of course, yeah. That's exactly what you meant, and I agree with you, Mark. You were not lying.
Thank you.
Wink, wink.
Well, you've ruined it again by saying that, but it's fine.
I will say, one thing I did notice, no composition change. I know that sometimes you'll see changes back and forth when we are getting our first look at a map, but everyone seems to be pretty clear on what they would like to play here on World's Edge. I imagine that might change quite a bit when we go over to Kings Canyon, but we'll have to see when that does happen. But as for NIP, so something that happened in the LGS Pro League was NIP would often get caught out by teams rotating quickly when they weren't able to kind of loot up quick enough when the zone came towards them. However, they have maybe learnt from those lessons in different competitions and now seem to have looted up a lot faster and found a position to play.
I do like that NIP still commanding Lava Siphon as well. So by just saying, we're dropping here, if you want to contest it, we'll contest you. And everyone's gone, no. So they still have that POI to themselves as well. You see they've moved away from a little bit towards one of those snake buildings. One team who's going to have to make a far longer journey. And, I was going to say, maybe a far more painful journey by the looks of things, as one of them gets absolutely beamed off of the evac tower, is going to be GHS. And coming into this game in 5th position, but it is like a couple of points separating 3rd downwards. So it is extremely tight at the moment, but 5th place overall, they're going to have to go and get Wabu back.
It was the Gaming Gladiators who were able to find them from behind there, and I don't know if they will be going back for Wabu. If I'm completely honest, I think it might be a case of just allowing that one to go down.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I think they're going back. I think they're going back.
That's a long way back. That is a long way back. But I guess, realistically, if you want to be able to put as much points on the board, do you think that you can do it as a duo? I think that will be the telltale sign here if they do go back, is they don't believe they can do it as a duo. But we'll see.
Well, here's GK then, just taking a little bit of damage themselves and poking out Killer Pose now with the Sentinel in his hand. He hasn't got that thing charged up to do max damage at the moment, but it's going to be enough to force Fennel away, who are trying to move through the tunnel themselves. So a little bit of a poke battle, as we saw, but I will say it was fascinating to see in that last game on World's Edge, right? So many teams alive as Zone 3 started to close as well, and it really was a wonderful kind of throwback to some of the most intense games. For the Pro League, we've had in the ALGS, we had 1 or 2 games that kind of people get ahead of themselves and desperate for points, but everything feels so much different when you get to land, when the money's on the line, and there certainly is that here in Riyadh for these teams. Everybody is trying to start the tournament and set the pace, I think, in the way they want to play for the majority of it.
Well, you want to get those advanced points, right? You want to be able to going into the finals lobby with the best advantage you can possibly find, and certainly winning this lobby would do just that. Now, Gaming Gladiators, after taking down the 1 player from GHS, are now noticing the 2 players from GHS coming back for that player, and they might decide to maybe follow up once more, but they do have to be careful because Red Ram's also in that area, which might just allow Gaming Gladiators to continue with their rotation. They have a relatively good rotation through the north side of this map here as they can continue on their southward journey. But it's going to be difficult once they reach that southeast area because it's starting to get a little bit jam-packed in a lot of the chokeholds now.
Oh, JHS, you can see that the decision was made to try and get one of the banners of the player who got beamed off of that evac tower. Unfortunately now, it's just Rufra left on his own, and he might be able to, he's got one big banner, so there's an opportunity for him to get one player back in. He might have to do a little bit of a rescue mission to see if he can get the second. Elsewhere, you can see Aurora, though. They sense blood.
Yeah, they say there is not going to be any sort of return back to the rest of your squad. Instead, we've noticed a scavenger in the works. We've noticed one remaining player that is just an easy kill, an easy point, and it will be secured after a little bit of damage done on the other side. As long as there's not another team in the area, it won't matter too much. It looks like they'll be okay.
I can tell you the exact comms from 9 Impulse there is he's one shot, guys.
He's one shot.
He's one shot. I've done my job, even though I technically lost the 1v1. But, you know, it is what it is. They win the war. It's not about the battle. It's just about coming out on top and staying on the map. So that's exactly what they do. They secure the 1KP, which they will take every single day of the week, as Red Rams now, unfortunately, butting heads with someone over. And the Respawn village just outside of Fragment. Good shots coming in from Dutch, though. Maybe he can turn this situation around a little bit. Oh my goodness, he's got two! He may be able to do something ridiculous. And I tell you what, Lufka just saved GG's blushes there, because that could have been ugly.
I think Lufka just saved this chair. I was about to jump up and it might have gone through the wall. Almost.
It's a very expensive stage.
One of the best things we've ever seen, but sadly does not come to fruition. I will say though, Gaming Gladiators, they continued their aggression after previously taking down GHS members. They saw Red Rams were making their rotation, and Gaming Gladiators noticing that this is going to be a difficult zone for them, so taking advantage of kills that can be available to them on the edge. Now, Twisted Mind, who are still in the lead here, at the top of the leaderboard, at the top of the lobby, have been able to get into Lava Siphon, and the zone is pulling a little bit further southeast, but that doesn't bother Twisted Minds just yet, because they are still within it.
That was such a strange fight there between GG and, I mean, it was like one of those fights I was like, there's literally no, in my brain it's like, there's no way this is like winnable. And then he gets one, it's like, there's still absolutely no way that it's winnable. Gets two, and then I'm like, there's still absolutely no way it was winnable. And thankfully, I was right. Because if that would have been a 1v3, that would have been a keyboard, mouse, controller disposed of, I think, on that desk. That would have
just take it to the crusher at this point, along with the keys.
Yeah.
Just wipe them all out. I think everyone on the other side would have been embarrassed when something like that happened. But I think it's overconfidence sometimes. When you're in a 3 versus 1, you're like, we'll just send it, we'll send it.
Someone else to do it,
you expect someone else to clean up the damage. You might miss a shot or two, and it can be very detrimental. Anyway, we are still talking about something that didn't really happen, but we can watch what happened again on the flip side.
Yeah, we can. This is a little bit earlier. This was while we were being taken down there, and you can see this is the almost 1v3, and I tell you what, it wasn't far off as well. Still managed to get some good damage onto Lufka himself as we look elsewhere at some of the replays coming in. Team Falcons, though, this is back to live gameplay right now, and this is going to be them trying to work their way through the choke at the moment. You can see, as expected, approaching this zone, which is the other side of the map to their drop spot over at Sky West. They're going to have a huge advantage when it comes to armor in these fights. You can see Imperial How, he's got gold helmet, he's got gold bag, he's red Evo armor. I'm sure that Jim Burton and Zero aren't too far off of reds as well. So they are going to be a danger to anyone that they come across at the moment, and they will be more than willing to fight.
Worth noting that with the tournament as a whole, Team Falcons are currently leading the Esports World Cup as well. So this Team Falcons roster within Apex Legends has a little bit of pressure on their back, not only because the expectation is for them to win by the majority of the community, if not the majority of the talent team here, if not half of the world at this point, but as you are on the organization that is currently leading the entire tournament, you're also going to be hoping to find another W for your team.
Speaking of Team Falcons, we'll jump to a listen in with them now as they manage to get into the dome building a geyser, but they have to plan ahead.
Let's go that way.
Get your asses there.
Into that macro.
Let's displace there.
Yeah.
Just got it. The team that hit the mapper might come this way too. Like late, this way.
Move that way.
I think Autobridge is first. Which one? Out of this. There was a team there on mapper. There was a first round. They might be playing the carts. Yeah. There was only one team there earlier. Yep. I can't.
The building is
so far to pick the cards. I feel so fucking far. They just shot. The big one just shot this way. Yeah. I'm looking. I'm still looking. I don't see anybody. I'm still looking.
They should slide.
They have to come. They have to come. Run.
So as we jump out the list, and it seems like Falcon's not really quite sure what the next play is going to be. It's a bit of a difficult rotate for them where they find themselves at the moment. You can see the on a map overhead that EVOs are looking at them as well. They've got to kind of worry about Guild up at Grandma's house on the height as well. It's a little bit of a scuffed situation to try and work their way out of.
Circle's also pulling up towards the train tracks as well. Great news for Team Liquid, who now have a chance to go back-to-back themselves with the position they find themselves in. But look at this struggle from GG. They are well aware that there is another team behind them, and it's going to be Aurora. So they are waiting. They are hoping that Aurora are going to come their way so they can get some easy kills. But it looks like Aurora might just be trying to dive around them here using a little bit of an evac tower.
Yeah, it looks like maybe an agreement that we're both going to just try and get to zone first, because if we fight here, we're both dead. It is going to be indeed both teams hitting the evac towers. It's going to be the advantage, you would say, maybe for positioning for Aurora, because they're going to land first, but Gaming Gladiators might be trying to chase them down. Pioneers putting some shots down as well, and he's going to be pulling the zone down below the train tracks, down to that low ground. You can just see on the left-hand side of your screen right now, GG landing, but there's an occupier already here.
Yeah, this is about to kick off. Both GG and Aurora all throwing themselves into this zone. You can see GG took a lot of damage from the zone as well, but it looks like they've been able to stabilize, and they should be able to have a genuine attempt at taking a 3v3 here, but they found a building that isn't occupied. It's worked out for GG.
18 squads still remaining in this lobby as we jump back over to see what Falcons are doing. And I mentioned how they've got to be careful of the team wrapping behind them at the moment. It looks like they are aware of that position. Knuckle cluster from How's going to go in just to slow down anyone thinking about peeking and prodding and really causing them a problem. And now we're going to see the exchange of the gold helmet as well, which is just going to allow Zero to get his ultimate back a little bit sooner on the Bangalore. Elsewhere, you can see Team Liquid, you mentioned them, they are holding down the tracks at the moment. They will have the high ground for the longest as we see GG forcing their way in and taking out Pioneers. They win the 3v3 inside of this little snake building, and we mentioned how Pioneers, maybe their loot pass haven't been great in the past, but their fighting didn't look too hot there either.
And there's a lot of fighting happening on that bridge I spoke of earlier. Team Liquid were holding it, but Aurora, they decided to join them and said, look, actually that looks like one of the better positions as Twisted Mind just got eliminated. So the team that is leading this lobby wiped out, and we'll have to see whether they can bounce back on Kings Canyon, because that's where we're going next.
LG once again making their way towards this endgame. Aurora, 2 reds and a purple. So dangerous when they are able to path their way through all these Evo harvesters and interact with as many things as possible on the map to get those armors up to be a danger in and towards this endgame. LG, you can see the difficulty they have right now. They've got the Watson down, of course, which is going to help them from projectiles, but armor-wise, they're just going to have to think about surviving and maybe looking for some chip damage on teams rotating a little bit later, because if they take a fight with the teams that are around them, the armor advantage really isn't going to go their way, as we see Guild Esports also eliminated. We're down to 14.
Surviving is going to be the key word for a lot of these teams. Those who are in Lava Siphon at the moment, they are in a difficult spot because there is about 8 teams there that now they are going to realize they all have to move east because of where that circle's shifting is now. They will get the jump on them here, and it's a good amount of damage, and that's the perfect Pathfinder play, right?
It's good damage, not great damage. Would have wanted a little bit more there, would have wanted the knock, but like you say, that's the benefit of Pathfinder. Uses the ability to get away on that zip line as well to get back to teammates. It looks like it did get taken down by enemy though, so that's a bit of a problem for Evos now as they're down to 2. Designful putting in so much damage and holding them out at the moment. You can see the rest of DSG just kind of holding the egg building at the moment. No Q available for just a couple of seconds for Designful, so has to jump back through the portal, but essentially job done, right? If you're a Wraith and you're extending out, you see third-party opportunities, you can pick up some kills, or you got to take it.
Designful sticking to what is true and tested for himself, is playing that Wraith, and 9th place at the moment. I mean, it is working out for them. They have got to a few final circles where the Wraith portal has somewhat helped against other squads that maybe were holding them out, but now we're going to see the damage needed, and the damage does get done by Designful, but is there anyone to follow up?
Well, QZ is looking to move up and maybe convert the damage into kills. The Skynade's going to break some shields, but it's not going to break any hearts quite yet. Now he's going to fly in. Now he's going to use the hip fire. Takes a little bit of zone damage, but manages to get the knock, and he won't have to worry about finishing that one off because the zone will do it for him. DSG looking to clear this side of zone now. A Designful steps back through the port towards his teammates, and he's looking for some more loot.
Because Esports are eliminated at 14th, and now Disguise have to continue moving west here, but they've got Aurora in front of them. Luminosity and Liquid then below them as well on this train track. I mentioned this was going to be one of the most important positions on the map. Liquid held it early, but now everyone's starting to join them. But now we get all the commotion happening on the west side here, Mark. You've got the likes of GK, FaZe, Rejectability, and Fennel all in the same spot.
This is everyone trying to lead Siphon. This was, I would say, the most comfortable position to play for the majority of the game. Everybody starts to stack up, but then we always talk about it. If everyone's stacked up and the zone pulls away, everybody has to leave. And if you are a team on the other side of all of this, it gives you an opportunity for kills. Speaking of which, it looks like Falcons are trying to create their own opportunities for kills here. They're all up onto red Evos. They're going up against DSG here. Never an easy fight. And it looks like Zero wants to take it. How's going to get that first knock onto enemy?
This could be a great position for Falcons, especially if they can take down the entirety of DSG here, because then they will own the northern side of this circle. Fennel, first team to go down on the western side. Now we've only got 12 squads, make it 11, because Crazy Raccoon have also fallen, but Falcons really being aggressive, have lost one here.
Can they clean this up? They should be able to, but the port is going to take Q0 away. Is he going to be able to survive, though? Where does that port end up? That's the real question here. Javert's still on his back, but certainly still kicking for the moment. As Yanya tries to move in, Liquid will be eliminated in the meantime, and it looks like Falcons might be able to get a reset here. The smoke will go in, and DSG, that portal did get them back to some sort of safe ground. So Falcons, who had the advantage there for a second, well now, it looks like it might be a 2v2. Did they manage to get Gen back up?
It works in niche moments, but those niche moments have been aplenty so far today for Disguise. They are only a 2, as we will see FaZe eliminated. 9 squads now remain, but Falcons are still alive, and I think I'm hearing Let's Go Falcons chants in the arena as well.
You certainly might be. DSG still as a 2, though, and they did manage to get Jim Burton back on his feet. So Falcons will be able to fight as a 3 towards this end game. Now, we spoke about the traffic that was happening in and around Siphon. Well, these are the last surviving members, and GG have picked up a huge amount of kills. Lufka has 4 to his name himself at the moment. Look at that stick coming in. Huge stuff from the Knuckle Cluster as Blast tries to clear it up.
This is when GG are at their very best, when they can play edge, when they can arrive, get kills, and then be healthy, as Light's been able to do even more damage here as they eliminate GK. 7 squads now remain, and we are going to see Falcons taking the center position on this map, by the way, as the bridge is still hotly contested by 4 other teams.
Interesting to see what GG do from here as well, right? They won the Battle of Siphon, but can they work their way in towards the zone? LG up to purples. Last time we checked in with them, they only had the blues to work with, and you can see in the kill feed as well that GG just keep killing everything at the moment. LG trying to move in and clean up the final pieces. Sweet's going to swing in. Xcholo's eliminated. GG will fall as well, and now it's about holding off the third pie, and Sweet is doing a fantastic job of doing so.
But is it going to be enough? Syke still has full armor and is going to maybe bounce back, but you can see Aurora trying to get involved on this one as well. Rejectability, Luminosity, and Aurora, but is there going to be space for them all to survive? The answer is no. It's more likely going to be only one team that can survive this engagement.
Well, Sykes has managed to stay alive himself for LG, but Falcons are the team who control the destiny of this game. They are up to 3, but Disguise still up on this high ground, and with a charged up Sentinel can have an impact too.
The crowd still behind Falcons, and there is a real opportunity for Falcons to take this game, but Disguise could be a thorn in the side because they hold a lot of high ground that Designful currently has. Alongside that Sentinel, this is still winnable for Design, even though they're only a 2.
Some great shots there onto the crouching 9. Impulse managed to get the kill himself, get that knock, and he's charging up once more. Plenty of cells to work with here for Designful, but Aurora Gaming will be eliminated, so the last players have gone from Aurora. We're down to 4 squads now, and Sykes is still doing work for LG.
Team Falcons, the only squad that are at full 3, by the way, but they do not have a Pathfinder, so Disguise being on height, it could play a big factor in this endgame, as we'll see another player eliminated from Eject. LG now are the team that survives this bridge battle, but only with 1. It's 1 versus 2 versus 3. Falcons have the 3, and now it's a 2 versus 3. Disguise versus Falcons.
Well, this is fascinating, right? I mean, the one good thing here for Falcons fans is they might be able to use the Bangalore to force the team down from height. There is that ultimate coming in indeed. They maybe try and bait with that evac tower as well. Exhibit down once more as well, and even though this is the 3v2, you still have to get that first damage. If this turns into a 2v2, all of a sudden it becomes a bit dicey.
Well, Falcons full sending it, but now you see from Disguise, they notice it, and they jump, they try and get the behind action on them and said, let's get behind them, let's use this rope as well.
Jim Burton gets the kill onto Qzia though, Designful last alive, and Falcons will be a champions in game number 4. The super team putting a super performance here on World's Edge.
It's the home team as well, and the crowd love to see that. The expectations on the shoulder of these 3 gentlemen has been massive coming